round 20 on the calendar. I actually think I need to change the title in a minute. And we're in Brazil. I'm with my main man, Luke, the Beast.
Hello everyone, looking forward to the penultimate race of the season. It's come around so quickly. Only one more after tonight.
I think I'm going to have to change the title because I think I forgot to change the round number.
Oh, someone will change it later.
Let me go on the switch count. One hub. Can I do that? I don't know if I can change it.
Nah, we'll change it afterwards. It'll be fine. No one will notice.
No one will notice. Trying to. Nah, not working. I'll just tell Jess to change it. Jess.
If we could just quickly, while Brett's sorting out his own mistakes,
Yep. Sorry.
If you weren't with us last week, a very similar result to what we've seen over most of the season recently. Bovis taking his 4th consecutive victory. The man is an absolute machine at the moment, but as a matter, and Nexus Iceman making it 2 Mercedes on the podium and securing the Constructors' Championship for Mercedes. There were 2 racing points behind them as well, 4th and 5th. And what all that means is with the 2 main championships might be decided, but that's no reason to leave us and go and watch a one show or whatever you fancy watching on a Friday evening. We've still got some very exciting championship battles underway. 2nd place especially, Estimat, Azamata, Eva Hannon, Pizza Parker, Bovis, Ivan and even Riley all still have a chance of getting 2nd place in the championship. So could be very interesting, but you'd have to say with the form he's in at the moment, Bovis is probably the favourite to get that. Only 25 points off 2nd at the moment, but the way he's driving, you'd expect him to get 50 in the last 2 races.
Definitely. I'm sorry I'm eating a chocolate, but I know this is not great timing. But tonight, I mean, run me through the table. Who is all fighting except from 2nd? Obviously, we've just heard there. But I feel like we have a close midfield fight as well.
Gazaman in 10th, he's sort of on his own. He's 30 points behind Riley and 49 points ahead of Sam, but you've got Sam and Daniel who are extremely close together, and Daniel, of course, had a very good race last time out in the Haas. You got some good points. Liam's not too far behind. Liam and Desire come on the same number of points. Pepperlou's on 25, Kingan on 24, Astronauti on 10, and we know he's got some pace within him. AB on 1, UK Coxie without any points, and we've got a new driver here replacing Foggy, who has now officially retired from League Racing. It's Catboy Key. He will be taking his place in the Williams for the final 2 races of the season.
Now, you might not know Catboy Kai, I'm going to say, but I know him personally. He's grown so much just in the space of a month. I mean, EVR Sam helped them gain about a 2nd by just telling him one thing. I forgot exactly what it was, but the guy maybe can put in a good fight. Obviously, he'll learn a lot more as the days go on, with one hub especially. But yeah, we've got a few championship fights for the midfield. But I'm curious with the 2 racing points. I mean, how are they ending their season? Are they looking strong? I mean, I don't have the stuff. I can't find the stuff. I'm looking for it.
Pizza Parker's had a couple of podiums. He didn't get one, well, in recent races. He didn't get one last time out. He does actually have 5 podiums, which is the most of anyone who doesn't have a victory this season. Riley's only managed 2. There are only 18 points between them, but we've seen as it's that close, that is actually 4 places at the moment, with Pizza Parker in 5th and Riley in 9th at the moment. And we have seen most qualifying sessions, they do seem to be close together. And they are only 22 points behind McLaren in the Constructors. And with SDMAX pretty much being the sole McLaren for most of the second part of the season, there's a great chance for the Racing Point team to get what would be a well-deserved top 3 position.
I mean, you know, I've been quite a big favourite for Riley this season, as I still believe he has the pace. Obviously, I just feel like a lot of this podium tier for the whole season has been luck and unluckiness for a lot of people, because I feel like if it was everybody's day, you would have many people fighting for a race win. Let's go back to when Aaron was here. I was mentioning this last week, how he always stepped up his game when someone else came in. And I feel like when you seen Boris rise in pace, I feel like Aaron would have been able to, and then that would have pushed Iceman forward because he would have to fight for the championship. But I feel like Iceman now being on the top, he doesn't have to win. I feel like he's just strolling till the end now.
Yeah, it could be a very interesting last couple of races, to be fair. Talking of Pizza Parker, he's planning to do his first race tonight without using traction control, but that is only if it stays dry. And knowing what the weather is like so many times at the Brazilian Grand Prix, that is definitely by no means guaranteed.
Well, I've been... Oh wait, somebody left there at the end. Somebody left right before the session gets started. I think we were kind of late going there anyway, but one thing I just want to mention is, do not play project cars and set cars and expect to come back on F1 and not spin out, because the games are so different. Like, I literally went through the whole of Australia spinning through basically every corner. It was not fun.
Yeah, so it's Ivan who's disconnected because his game crashed. So he's not having much luck lately with technology in 2020. It's not the start to the year he would have wanted. But with your point about different games, I definitely agree with you. I am terrible at most racing games now. I think at the age of 24, I peaked a long time ago. And it looks dry for qualifying, although some of them clouds aren't exactly the most promising, so hopefully it'll stay dry throughout the entire of qualifying as we get underway. But it is difficult to go on different games, trying to cope with,
especially if you're trying to be competitive
styles.
If you want to be competitive, you have to bang out this game. And we were talking about enjoyment last week as well, and that was a key factor. It's not about all the game's not enjoyable itself, it's the fact that the game has to be sweated out to be competitive against other people. It's it's the way F1's turning. It's obviously good. We get to see more competitive stuff, but also I think it's taking some of the fun out of it for a lot of people, and it's more becoming a chore, rather than a hobby.
Yeah, especially when you get towards the end of the game's life cycle, because let's not forget it was about 8 months ago now that this F1 game came out. Still haven't heard any information on when F1 2020 come out, but One Hub will be doing another season, of course, on F1 2019. More information will be released next week if you check out the third teaser on the One Hub page after this race, obviously, because you won't want to miss any of the fantastic action I'm sure we're going to get tonight in this qualifying session. Kingan now, he's going to be the first man to set a lap in this qualifying session. He is on the soft tyres, as are the majority of the field. We've just got a few on the hard tyres, so let's see what Kingan can do now. DRS wide open as he's heading down towards the centre S's at the first corner. Reaches 208 at the end of the straight. That's around 332 kilometres an hour there. Keeping it nice and tidy through there. Then you've got this long turn 3, the pit exit on the left hand side. That can get a bit tricky during the race as cars are coming out of there. Then we're heading now into turn 4, downhill braking zone, so it's very easy to carry too much speed into there. Kingan unsurprisingly taking it a bit conservative. Then you've got the Peralta, an extremely difficult corner there to overtake on, although we did see Westy try it last year. Kingan has already invalidated his lap, in fact, so he will not be pushing much harder, I don't believe. Hopefully he'll get out of the way of all those behind him.
I'm checking who else is on the lap, though I feel like it's Evianen.
Yeah, Evie Hannon there, you can just see that racing point, and Williams just getting out of the way. Evie Hannon was purple in the middle sector.
He had the left off because he was a bit. Well, it looks like he was going to go into the back of Riley as they were on track there. So I don't expect one of the best laps, but I mean he's managed to pull it back. But Sam being out by 2 tenths, I wouldn't say that's Evianen's quickest. Like I said, he did do a full lift off for the flat out left. So
yeah, and Evie Hannon is on the medium tyres, of course. So we saw how good he was with tyre management last week. He did get driver of the day.
Oh, a van spinning! This is becoming a weekly thing now. A man is just to catch that on camera. I don't know if he maybe just struggling with the Ferrari handling line. We know all the cars have different handling lines. I don't like the Haas, and nobody really likes the Ferrari at this point because the car's a bit small on the nose to everyone, so it messes up the whole camera. Also, it's a bit weird on the rear end, so I feel like Avan's just struggling to get used to it at the moment, and it's a shame because he is one of the quickest guys in here.
Yeah, he says his pace seems to have deserted him, and when he looks good, he does still look quick enough as Dan. He's carrying on his form from last week, 108.8. First man to get underneath 109. Just watching Bovis now, he's coming around the middle sector. This didn't get held up by Ivan, thankfully. He's been fantastic so far over the last few races. Iceman, the champion, 108.3 from him. So let's see what Bovis can do on his first flying lap in the Renault. Sticking over to the left-hand side of the track, so wouldn't be surprised here if he decides to dive it into the pit lane. No. He is going
if you
out
stay hard to the left, you can shave off about 3 tenths.
Yeah, it looks like he needed a bit more than 3 tenths on that lap if he wanted to challenge for pole position, because he's down in 7th at the moment, which is surprising considering his recent form. But there's only been 5 minutes gone in this session. We've already had 11 drivers set a lap time, and it's Iceman, Dan and Estimat, your top 3 at the moment. And Estimat, he's in that second place at the moment, fairly precarious though, you've got to say. It's very close behind him. Azamata now just 4 points behind, Eva Hannon a further 4 behind that, and the McLaren driver still hasn't won a race, so maybe this is a good opportunity for him. Scott Boris heading back now towards the pit lane. I'm sure they'll be getting ready to start another lap. Azamata, he's heading around now. May also heading towards the pit. 6th at the moment. The fastest man on them medium tyres. He did get pole position last week, so he's definitely a man in form, and it is good to see him showing the form because we know he is a quick driver, and he did struggle a bit at the start of the season.
Looking at Evianen now, making his way slowly out the pits, very slowly. I mean, it's just a thing. Would it be domination if Boris was this quick at the start of the season, or would Iceman have picked up the pace?
It's interesting to say because Iceman did seem to just pick up the pace after Austria. To be fair, Boris has been incredible since Singapore, really, but you can never really tell. If Aaron had still been here, would he have been able to challenge more? If Zeppedoodle was hoping to make a return next week, because he was definitely one of the quickest drivers at the start of the season. Even Foggy, who's, as we said, has now retired, he showed pace at different points. So I think Iceman definitely, you can't argue that he deserves this championship. Although you can't say, maybe just for the middle couple of races before the winter break that we had, they were the time he was the outright quickest driver, but he's just been so more consistent than everyone else.
I mean, I would completely agree with you. I just want to bring in a kind of real life F1, as we haven't really talked about any of the car liveries as well. Haas has released theirs, which I just want to get some thoughts of it. It's a bit like the 2017 and 16 Haas, which, I mean, was an alright one, but then I like what they've done with it this year. I feel like it's a bit more different.
Yeah, I feel like, unsurprisingly, they weren't going to stick with black and gold after the Rich Energy scandal. Ivahanen at the moment, he's 2 temps up on his personal best. He's gone purple in the first sector. We've just got Renault getting out of the way of him there. He's now about to come around to that second sector timing point. Let's see if he's still going purple. So he's now 7 temps up on his personal best. As long as he keeps it clean out of this final corner, this could well be the fastest lap of the session so far. 108.3 to beat at the moment. What can the Ferrari do? And it is a 108.6 in the end. So still got some time to gain in that final sector, but at the moment that's good enough for second, and Dan has retired from the session.
As I see us going in to turn 4 there.
Yeah.
I feel like he spun and went in the wall.
I was having a quick go in time trial earlier. Maybe I should start streaming my time trial sessions and sending them into You Being Framed. But I did something very similar to what Dan did there. You can just, what I imagine he's done is just caught that tyre on the edge as he's accelerated away. Unsurprisingly, AstroTurf isn't extremely grippy when you're trying to put about 900 brake horsepower through it. Just flicks you off into the wall. But I imagine he'll be fairly happy with the lap time he's set, but it's not ideal to have a crash like that
I reckon
before
they're
the
going to
start of
faster.
the race.
I can see possibly. I mean, 8s are quite quick around here for Podium Tier.
Yeah,
That's
the other tiers
like
are
quite weird.
extremely close together. Boris, unsurprisingly, he's 6 temps up on his personal best, so maybe challenging Ivahanen for second place, and indeed he does. He goes ahead of him, but still a bit off Nexus at the moment, but that's more like what we've come to see from the Russian.
Well, Boris has been in dominant force as of the last 4 rounds. So, I mean, looking forward, obviously I see him getting promoted. But I mean, who are in the shot of promotion? Is Adimar goes P2 there with a 185. So we could be seeing that constant Merc 1-2 that we continue to see in qualifying throughout this season.
It wouldn't surprise me if both Mercedes make their way up to precision, because Azamat has been there before and did show okay pace, if I'm being honest. So Iceman, his consistency I think deserves a promotion. Boris's pure pace as well. But a lot depends on how they do in qualifying night, obviously. If they don't perform on that night, they could easily find themselves still in this tier. And it'd be interesting to hear maybe from some of the drivers, would they prefer being mid-table towards the back of precision, or fighting for the title in the podium tier?
I don't know, I feel like I've always preferred to be in the higher division. It pushes you more to become faster, even though you may not be winning every race. You've got to have, I mean, it's the pride when you're racing against people that are quicker than you, or I mean, for some people, I mean, I feel like next to Iceman, or well, I know he's quicker than some of the guys in Pinnacle Tier. So I feel like we could be seeing a big swap from some of these people. Because Evianen's coming out once again.
Interestingly, UK Coxey, if we just switch to him, he's got it wrong coming out of the pit lane. I said it's a difficult pit exit. He's lost his front wing before he's even managed to get out on track.
That's a lot of... I mean, that's... you don't usually see wing damage like that. I reckon he's actually floored it or forgot to turn.
Interesting that that's happened. But talking about, again, back to the tier talks, I've had it on one league I was in on Gran Turismo.
Oh, Peter Parker! Almost gets sent to the Shadow Realm. Thank you, Super GT, for the amazing metaphor or whatever it is. Yeah, he almost went flying down the hill. But yeah, goes to 9. I feel like that probably lost him 2 times on the exit.
2 temps with how close it's been. That could have put him up. That would have put him around where his teammate is. Unsurprisingly, you can never seem to separate these 2 racing points. Thankfully, unlike Perez and Ocon a couple of years ago, they do tend to stay fairly separated when they're on track and don't try and mate into one giant pink panther. But Ivan on another lap. He's slightly slower in the first sector though.
I don't know why that one got me, but it was how you just went into what was it, like, a bigger pink.
I mean, I've no idea what two Pink Panthers would make, so I just went for a bigger Pink Panther. Because anything else that could have come out of that sentence is definitely not PG.
I mean, these cars remind me of the Pink Panthers. You know, you get the Pink Panther wafer biscuits.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what, I would pay £100 for them.
Well, talking of, like, Tunnocks caramels are top tier biscuits.
Oh, mate,
but,
nah, not having it. No, it's better than that. Dead fly biscuits.
I'm not even whoa! Astronaut has got it completely wrong there. I just
if I'm
caught
gonna get a view of it.
Yeah, he was looking good. There, it's coming around, just about to head into Young Cow, and but Max Verstappen, he made his mark in his first ever practice session in 2014 in Toro Rosso with a brilliant drift round there. Astronaut, he looked as though he was trying something similar and couldn't hold it together, and just completely smashed into the wall. And it's not a forgiving track, this Interlagos circuit.
That's the problem. If you try and correct yourself, you're most likely going down a hill or going to China.
Yep. SD Mats, he's still in 7th. He heads towards the pit lane. You've got most of the drivers actually in the pits now. Guzman and Boris heading on their out laps. AB, he's, I think, heading back to the pits, but 3 minutes 33 to go, and it's a Mercedes 1-2 at the moment.
Well, I mean, we've seen this more than once now. I think we've seen it last week as well. But another talking point with the whole Chinese Grand Prix, did that thing get cancelled?
Now, the Shanghai authorities have said they're not holding, and they have suspended all sporting events. On the Formula 1 website, the Chinese Grand Prix has not been cancelled yet, but I would be extremely surprised if it goes ahead.
I feel like it could get postponed to around summer at the latest.
There were some talks that it was going to get postponed until the summer break, and then just, I think, don't have a summer break and sort of have 2 weeks, then a race, then 2 weeks off again. The teams weren't too happy with that suggestion, and they've got 22 races on the calendar. It's extremely difficult now to try and shoehorn a race in. I don't think anyone's going to be
going away
if the calendar goes down to 21 races.
Vivianen almost hitting the wall there. I mean, that's an odd place to put the car. He almost went slamming into the Rolex barriers behind him. Rolex being
that hasn't affected Bobby's too much.
I think he was just trying to get the way out of two different cars there, and it was the only way he could really go.
Yeah,
I
think Brazil is the second shortest lap in terms of time after Austria, so it's not a surprise that traffic is an issue, and Boris is purple in the second sector, so if he gets it right out of this final corner, he could find his way onto pole position once more. This is likely to be the Renault driver's final lap, and it is good enough for provisional pole position as he nearly crashes into one of the Saubers there coming across the line.
He did.
No idea what AB was doing there, and that has held Ivanen up, I am sure.
Ivanen had to take a bit of an odd line. I don't think it will affect him too much, but he's got to try and split them Mercedes. I mean, that's been the goal of Ferrari this whole season, and they've not really been successful without Aaron now. Also, El Chiavan, can he, or ART Chiavan now, can he possibly show what he can do in that Ferrari car? I mean, being given the privilege to drive that in one hub is quite big, so not to perform maybe to where you should be is a bit disappointing.
Yeah, he's 2 tenths up on his personal best, Ivan, unlike his teammate who was 2 tenths down through that first sector, so still a chance for the Ferraris to move up here. I think it's going to be tough though for them to split the Mercedes. As I say that, Ivan actually invalidates his lap. Nexus starting his final lap. As a matter, his lap's invalidated as well, so qualifying will be over for him. Got Riley, he's about to head onto the straight.
Just wanted to mention that Boris has actually lost end plate damage.
Yeah, he did crash in the end. He hit the wall. I think he's lucky only to have just lost end plate damage. And you can just see the improvements of times throughout the session. Dan was 4th, when he set his lap. And Ivan has spun it again, coming out of turn 12. The checkered flag.
There was another car that had spun there.
Qualifying. As a matter, he's not improving. Iceman's improved slightly, but he's invalidated his lap.
Am I watching Sam?
Sam could be last man across the line here, I
He's
feel.
on none. He's not on a lap. As Riley's high. Riley could be in a lap here. He is, he's on a lap. He's just going a bit faster, but it's not enough. I mean, we know Riley could have had the pace to be there where his teammate is, but obviously he's not been able to do it. Get it together at the final laps.
UK Coxey, he moves up to 11th. Not a bad place to start. If you stay there, you get free tyre choice, and I think he will stay there. Gazaman ditches to the pits. AB, he's unable to prove, so it's the back of the grid for the second Alpha.
I've got to see a penalty coming AB's way after that, and he's the thing that just makes it worse is he's been out on them tyres for 5 laps. What is he doing?
Yeah, and he was just sat on the racing line, so we did well in Podium Tier last week, actually. No stewards' inquiries at all, so very well played for the drivers for keeping it clean around America. I'd be surprised if Boris doesn't take that to the stewards. I mean, maybe he's at the end of the season, drivers are a bit more willing to let things go, but you can't just have your car sat on the racing line while other drivers are out in qualifying.
Seeing if there's anything else.
No, that'll be qualifying over. So Boris has taken pole position, less than a 10th ahead of Iceman, but as a matter, in 3rd place as well. So the Mercedes driver's looking good once again.
So you'll probably go through the qualifying results. Jess Games cheering on Boris. Cohen cheering on Sam and Daniel. Not the best qualifying in the end for Daniel, and one of the worst spots he can be, being in 10th place, and especially he is in a Haas, so I wish you luck, my friend. Going on, Avan is, this will be my comeback to Haas next season. So, I mean, I reckon, get out of the Ferrari, engine base, just move, just move to Renault, move to Merc, something like that, and I think it'll be set, Avan. But, I mean, you have been put in the 2 slightest cars on this game.
Yeah, the Haas especially does seem to be a bit more slidey than some of the other cars, and I've found it difficult to drive, and I'm not exactly the best driver, so I can't imagine what it feels like for someone who's actually got some skills. I don't
talk about my
sunshine.
I don't want to talk about my career in the Haas and Prestige Tier.
Yeah, I did notice Jamie the other week. As he was acting as Haas team principal, being asked about drivers that are disappointed. And he didn't say anything about any specific drivers. He did say he was a bit fed up of some of the drivers slagging off the Haas car, and I can't think who he could have meant.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I want out, man. I wanted out mid-season. There was a free slot. I didn't even get picked. Like, honestly, like that, no. I have a hatred for the Haas car, and I swear, if I get put in it once again next season, I ain't racing. I'm not.
If anyone is watching, I will pay you to put a bet in the Haas car.
You'll hear me complain.
Send me your PayPal details. Gaz a man readying up, and thankfully no one else has readied up before him, so that is no 5-second penalties for anyone this week, so good job.
People learning.
Everyone. Takes a bit of time, but they're learning.
They're learning. It's Podium Tier, but they're learning. What's your wishes for next season for instance, yourself, or obviously, I don't know if you're going to turn into a full-time commentator again, but I don't know if I have any goals. I mean, I would love to stick with Podium, but I'm tempted. I kind of want to go up with some of the drivers that are moving up. I feel that it might be kind of cool, so I follow them up. but I don't know. Obviously, we'll have to speak to Nick and stuff, but
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Drivers now on their formation lap. It will be a 36 lap race, and you can just see there the 15 cars that qualified in their order, and unluckily for Catboy Kai, he didn't make it through qualifying. We'll see what tyres all the drivers are on as well. Interestingly, both Alphas have gone for the hards.
Let's see. No, don't want that. I want that. No. There we go. So, UK Coxie and AB, yes, you're right, on the hards. Obviously, top 10 being on the softs. But, I mean, it's just about... Obviously, the hards are... They're no need. I mean, you don't even want to touch this type of compound around here, because you can take this off up to 20 laps around here.
Yeah,
so,
I'd expect to see most of the cars at the front trying to pit around laps 12 to 15 and then going for the mediums from there.
I mean, it's just... I feel like it would be a waste to go on the hards. I think that's just a waste of a few seconds, because that's how slow it is. Especially how long it'll take to heat up. I mean, AB starting at the back, he needs a punchy start. Maybe if he started on the mediums, went for the alternate strategy, but still, you need to stick with these guys.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he does. Nexus is actually the first man who's got to the grid. We know he's been first quite often this season, being the Drivers' Champion. For that, he has got himself a choice of a next level racing stand, and if you yourselves want to get your hands on some next level racing products, check out the link in the description and use the discount code
Nope.
for 10% off.
No more discount code.
No more discount code, what?
Discount code is gone, supposedly.
It's still in the description, it's worth a try, guys.
Okay, it's worth a try. Try it. At the UK retailer, I'm sure it is. Always good to try. But, I mean, don't know if it'll work anymore, but 5 red lights for the Sao Paulo Grand Prix. And lights are out, and it's a good start from Boris there. It looks like he's going to defend the position going into turn 1. Adimar, though, will challenge his teammate. Going around the outside, but it looks like EVR Sam up into 4th. He wants an Iron Brew this race, but will he get it? Going in for Evian in the background, they're getting a fight. Also, Riley Byes not benefiting it. Jesus, I've wrecked it. Oh, and that's a Williams diving down the inside the UK Coxie there. Riley fighting off a Ferrari of a van, and ST Mats in P7 there. We've got a lot of battling going on in the back of the field. Not too sure about the top, but Sam putting on the pressure of Azimatter. He needs to stick with these guys to ensure that Iron Brew. But he has a bit tipsy on the back.
Feisty at the moment.
But doesn't want to get too feisty. He's got to try and get a good result for that Ferrari team, as he's yet to put in a good finish. Evianen going slightly wide there through the flat out left-hander, but has seemed to save it and gets a good exit off the set. Well, technically the main final corner. But Avan in the slipstream of Avan, he's looking quick and nippy on the straight. Boris obviously setting the fastest lap. Yellow flags in sector 3. Astronaut, he's off. UK Coxie is fine.
Oh, Boris is round!
And the guy that's been dominating many races, the Renault, is round. There's been some controversy in the back between, I think, Catboy Key, AB and Astronaut. Has seen wing damage going flying up in the air, but we have a virtual safety car. Boris tries to get past Daniel, but I don't think it's going to work.
I don't know if Boris was just distracted by the virtual safety car coming out there, and that is when he lost it, but after all that's happened, we've now got a Mercedes 1-2. Sam has gone up 3 places at the start of this race. Pizza and Eva Hannon back where they started. Estimates, Ivan, Riley, Kingen and UK Coxie now. The top 10, and Boris down in 11th. He's got to be careful and just make his way up as the virtual safety car.
Oh, Sam's dived it. A bit like Hamilton did in Albon. There's some blooming bumping going on. And it's made Azimatter go down into P4 after some collisions. Not anything bad, just a bit of tyre grazing between the two. But Azimatter losing tons of positions. Maybe not focused on that restart there. And ST Max has also got past, but it looks like Azimat's got a good run and is going to come right back at him, flying it down the inside into turn 1. Will the Merc get it? Yes, he will. There's also a fight going on between the Red Bull and the Racing Point. The Red Bull goes flying off the track there, but has managed to keep the car in a straight line. Evianen round the outside though into turn 3 and held it. Peace Parker in P2, Evianen P3, EVR Sam losing two positions there in the space of 2 corners.
Yeah, Sam definitely seems very racy. He's after that Iron Brew, but Nexus now 2.1 seconds ahead after all that chaos.
Sam back down the inside, dives it on the Ferrari. The Ferrari's going to hold it around the outside, has the inside line for the swooping left-hander, and it's a squeeze from the Ferrari. And there's a king into the wall, looking like a collision there, spun him off possibly. We've also got an Alfa Romeo of AB almost right in the wall as well. Jeez.
Yeah, Azamata in the end managed to get past Sam there, so I don't know whether Sam just needs to calm it down, because when he's going for these moves, he seems to end up losing.
He's not thinking about the end of it.
DRS though. He's all over the back of Azamata, who also has the DRS in the Mercedes. Unsurprisingly, Iceman sets the fastest lap. Ivan heading into the pit, so that's an extremely early stop. Not sure if the Ferrari had damage.
And ST Matt's out of nowhere dives it down the inside to Sam as he was trying to fight Azimata there. As I have a voice crack as well. I'm getting flustered with the amount of battling going on, and it looks like ST Mats is wanting a bigger fight on Sam, but doesn't get the move done just there. Catboy Key and Yuki Coxey going side by side in the background there. The Alfa Romeo versus the Toro. So I feel like it's not. Alfa Romeo haven't been anywhere this season. They've actually went through quite a few drivers. Don't mind the voice crack. I'm sorry. I'm trying.
Yeah, Ivan, I think he had damage because that was a slow pit stop, and he's now gone onto the hard tyres. Kingan surprisingly going onto the medium, so it's going to be an impressive job from him to try and make those last 32 laps, but seems to have calmed down ever so slightly. Boris has now got himself up into 8th position again, and it wouldn't be surprising to see him on the podium, because all these guys up until Peter Parker are gonna get the DRS. I think Evahanen in fact is just borderline. I'm not sure if he was close enough on the deception point. He wasn't, so
it looks like Evahanen is
under pressure.
Evahanen is quite quick in a straight line though around here. One thing I want to discuss, so Peace Parker's managed to pull off a VSC start there that's done very well, but ST Mats and Sam battling once again. Also Riley and Boris going at it. Boris trying to bring the race back to him, but Riley shoving off Sam there, no contact, just a bit of squeezing, and Sam is just being flustered by the amount of cars in his collision, and he holds it drift up the hill. Daniel making his way through the collision, and Boris, is that wing damage for Boris? No, it isn't. Sam, like I said, just flustered, and that's more wing damage. It seems like this is an occasion that happened last week as well.
He seems to just be annoyed at the moment. I mean, Riley did go for a bit of a lunge, but no contact was made. Sam had to get out of the way, and then when Boris had a go, it just seemed that. Yeah, I'm not too sure. Sam.
I think it was more of one of them things.
If he wanted to hold on to that.
I feel like it was one of them things where Sam got put off the track. He comes back on the track, notices so he's turning left back onto the track to go back on the racing line. Doesn't realise Boris has managed to get a run, and then it's made that first collision. Obviously, Sam letting Gazaman pass, but he's not noticed the Renault being there, which then starts that first collision. Then you know, with this game in the collision engine, you could say there's a big fight going on between Boris and Riley. Now Riley does a similar thing to Boris. Then they just kept banging wheels, and it ended up a half spin for Sam.
Yeah, thankfully he managed to recover. Thankfully it didn't cause any problems for Bovis, who's now trying to dive down the inside of Riley. Got to be careful, because it's very easy to lose an end plate, but he wants to fight his way up. He was leading this race. He now finds himself 7.5 seconds off of the lead, and with Estimats losing touch from the Mercedes, it might be difficult to get himself back up towards the podium places.
More importantly, for the last podium position here, Azimat's looking to shape up a move on Evianen as they make their way down the straight. But Evianen's got that much, I don't know, straight line speed that he makes a big enough gap before he reaches the DRS point. But Boris on Riley finally gets the move done before the braking zone, and Boris now has to chase on the McLaren of ST Mats. We look down though at Daniel, who's managed to, let's see what he's been doing so far in this race. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. Position change. He's gained 2 positions. Riley, of course, not moving. Boris obviously losing 5. ST Matt's getting a good start with 3. Gazman is one of the biggest gainers, and is drawn with Catboy Key for 5 positions. I mean, Catboy Key, I feel this is decent. He's not going to be running a setup, obviously. I'm sorry, I'm struggling here. Not going to be running a setup. It must just be that word, I think. And has managed to put up a fight against some of these guys. Obviously, I think he's just getting comfortable in this division, as he's still slightly new to the whole league racing, and I'm noticing he's on controller here, tapping his way through the corners. Try and do it gradually. That's one thing I would guess. He maximises the speed through the flat out corners. Boris though, diving around the outside, I think, on ST Mats, and gains another position in the space of 1 lap there.
Yeah, and all of a sudden he set the fastest lap there. He's right on the back of Azamata as well next time around. So I think that Mercedes is going to want to get a move on and get past Ivahanen. Talking of Ivahanen and his setup, it's always a compromise you have to make around the Interlagos circuit. You have them first and final sectors which barely have any corners in, all about straight line speed, and then you have this very twisty middle sector that the drivers are coming through now. And Bovis has gained some time, in fact, on the leader, no doubt helped a bit by the assistance of the DRS, but I wouldn't count him out of this race yet. Still a long way to go, of course. 28 laps remaining at the end of this one, and he's got a great chance still.
It seems that Azumata was getting a bit too maybe caught up in trying to get the move done. Has actually cost him time in that final sector, and now it is 2 times splitting Azumata to Evianen and Boris to Azumata. Azumata does try it down the inside. Evianen's given the room, but it wasn't committed there. It's now Boris to get the run out the 3rd corner here, and looking to get the move, but huge contact. That
has to be a safety car or a virtual safety car or something.
Virtual safety car. I mean, it's that classic thing. We've seen it before this season, I'm sure. When you're just right behind them, tailing them on the straight, and then you slightly move to the right or the left, and it will just fully spin their car. I feel that it's unlucky on Boris's part, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's penalty awarding. I think you got to look at it from both angles here. Boris was trying to move to make the overtake and get out the slipstream, but his wings caught the rear of Azumata.
And see. I wonder if there'll be any pit stops on this lap. I mean, I can't imagine the virtual safety car being out for long. There's your answer. It's in already. Drive-through penalty for Gazaman for speeding under the virtual safety car. So he's had a good start in the Red Bull, but a bit of a nightmare for him. As now
Speaking
Boris,
of good starts, right down the inside there, flying Boris is at the moment on the straight. Now chasing down Pete Sparky. He's got about a 5 to 6 second gap on the leader now as he chases him down lap by lap.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how he does. Is Ivahanen going to have a look back? No, not able to do so.
I'm not
Cohen in the chat saying he thinks a penalty could be coming Boris's way. I think so as well. There wasn't really a gap on that side. I mean, there was a bit of movement.
Well, I'm going to actually re-watch it here, if you can commentate on the battle between ST Mats, Riley, Ivahanen and that. I mean, I'm going to look at the replay. This is why I wish we had the replay system on this game. I mean, I just feel like it was possibly. I don't think it was guessable that was going to happen. I don't think anyone knew.
Bovis did seem determined to try and make his way fast. There was a bit of bumping between the two of them. We know sometimes Azamata and Bovis can have some connection issues because they're being completely different sides of the globe. Whereas Bovis has got a really good run on Peter Parker, who tries to defend in a way they're not able to do so. Iceman in the pits, he's changing onto the medium tyres. That's a bit earlier than what I was expecting. So somehow, after all this, Boris is now in the lead of this race. We'll see if how Iceman can do. He's going to come out in 9th position, I believe, just behind.
Right, I'm watching the replay there, and it seems right. Azimar's moved to the middle of the circuit. Boris has moved to the right, and then as the boat, so as Azimar's moving to the left, Boris is moving to the right. That's when Azimar's rear diffuser and Boris's front wing tap, causing the collision. That's what's happened there. Both of them went different directions, spinning Azimar out.
I mean, it was a very minor contact, but it's had huge consequences for Azimata, of course, taking him out of the race, and that will be a big help for Boris and the others in that battle for second place in the championship. Boris now leading the race as Estimat, he's in the slipstream of Ibahanen for what is now 3rd position, but unable to get the move done, and these are catching up to Peter Parker as Boris once again looked very slidey there coming out of turn 3. So Iceman 15 seconds behind the lead at the moment on those medium tyres.
What is happening to Ivan? He's changing wing. He was one of my
3rd pit stop.
He was one of my most hyped drivers this season. He was doing so well, showing great pace, then winning a race, and what's happened? I don't know. He's just consistency. I don't know. He's usually, that was his key thing. He was always consistent.
There's got to be somewhat more here than just being in the Ferrari. I think there's some connection issues that are making it very difficult for him to drive because of how many races he's had trouble with since Christmas. He's round again, and that could be a retirement. Yep, Ivan out of the race. Virtual safety car once again, and the leaders are just coming up to the pit lane. So this could save
Boris
them
takes advantage.
Really bad for Iceman. I mean, everyone surely who's coming close to the pit lane will be diving into the pits. And after all this, Boris could easily find himself still in the lead of this race. Although he's had to wait for...
I don't see that. I don't see that happening.
Peter Parker's got out ahead of him, actually, in this pit period.
Yuki Coxey, them hard's working, but obviously he's not going to stay there. But it might actually be decent just to stick on the DRS train and then go in the softs at the end and hopefully come back.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, Peter Parker, he was a big winner from the VSC period. He's back ahead of Boris.
This is very good for the top runners. They're chasing Iceman because he's getting held up, and that's about a second already, I'm saying. And he's going to have to go through the whole second sector. You can just say,
Peter's behind Catboy as well, so he's in a similar situation. But UK Coxey will not be pitting anytime soon on those hard tyres. He's got to have at least another 10 laps on those, you'd expect.
What's Boris doing? Boris just watching his prey, really. Yellow flag sector 2, what's happened, and it's kinging off again.
Him and Ivan seem to be having a challenge today of who could find the most runoff areas, as Iceman there round the outside of Coxey for the lead, and in the background Parker, he's defending the inside line from Boris. The Renault, he's going to try all the way around the outside. There's a bit of wheel banging between the two of them, but no harm done. Boris has got that position back. Can Parker fight back? He's going to have DRS now coming down the main straight. Boris going defensive to the inside line. Is Parker brave enough to go all the way around the outside? No, he's not on this occasion. So that is Boris in 3rd place for now. And Iceman, I think he needs to just try and take advantage of these guys battling and get ahead, because Boris looks almighty once again today.
I feel, well, I'm going to look at the time here, right? So, before the VSC, when they had pitted, or well, before Iceman had pitted, the gap was around 6 seconds. The gap is now about 3.5. So, the VSC is really helped. I mean, and Boris is just gaining tons here. That's him out the second of Peter Parker already.
This is just ridiculous from Bottas. If he's in podium next year, then I will be shocked. I mean, he could even jump all the way up. I mean, Gazman, he's going to lose that big style from that pit stop period, of course, and because of what happened. Ivahanen, he's now got past AB, so Ivahanen up into 9th place. Interestingly, he went on to the hard tyres when nearly everyone else who was pitted at that time went onto the medium, so
Maybe didn't feel confident.
Definitely going for a different strategy. And we'll see if Bobbies can get past Coxey easier than Iceman did.
Well, that was about more than a 2-second gap there, and he's made it in about a half a lap.
It's like he's driving a different formula at the moment.
He's also gaining on Iceman. Well, now he's behind Yuki Coxey. I mean, wouldn't it be smarter for Yuki Coxey to lap him past, giving that DRS for one lap?
I mean, you could say that, but I'm not too sure. I mean, Coxey's well within his rights to fight for this position. And Bobbies has indeed lost about half a second, but he's going to gain a lot of time now. He's got the slipstream and the DRS, so this is going to be one of the most straightforward passes you have ever seen. I am surprised to see Coxey though go for the inside line. I thought he'd just let Boris have that, and he is holding on, and he's gone into the back of Boris. I said he's well within his rights to defend, but you've got to realise when enough is enough, and I don't think he went to go back at Boris there, but that could have easily ended in an accident for the pair of them.
Well, Gazman reaching the end of his tyres life cycle. I mean, doesn't maybe want to try and stick out for another VST possibly to try and take these to the final lap, because they can't go to about lap 22.
They can go to about lap 22, but you're not going to have any pace there.
Yeah.
He's sticking in the DRS of Riley for the moment, but you'd expect Riley to just pull away on those fresher tyres.
Well, we look at Boris, he's gained about 7 tenths there on just a sector and a half. I mean, I think this is a Pinnacle Tier driver right here. Purple sector, sector 2 there.
I wonder if he thinks a penalty is coming and he's just driving like he stole it at the moment to try and make sure that even if there is a penalty, he is so far ahead of Nexus that it doesn't make any difference. Yellow flags again in sector 2, and again it is Kingan.
Tempted not to even watch him. I mean,
Peter Parker, he's got past Coxey now for 3rd.
We're getting to that stage of what seems to be a thing that happens in Podium Tier. The first stint is action filled, but then it slowly comes to an end as people decide, oh, retire and wing damage and crash and your car
well, I
blows
think
up.
in a lap or two we are going to see some more action round about the halfway point. As Boris, he's now got that gap down to 1.7 seconds in the lead of his race. And to be fair, Parker, he's closing in slightly on Iceman as well, so I'm not sure if these medium tyres are suiting the Mercedes driver. Could be a good battle as well for 5th place between Estimats and Dan, who doesn't seem to have been affected by that crash in qualifying. Another good race from Dan, carrying on his form from last time out.
Well, Mr. Daniel in the Haas, he's had a good end to the season so far. Going into the finale next week, I mean, it's all to play for. Sam, again, losing wing damage. It could be the bottle of EVR Sam. He's bottled so many iron brews this season as Gazman finally pits off them softs and onto a pair of mediums, it looks like.
Yeah, done well to get them to last that long. So Sam, I'm not sure, I know he didn't pit for that wing damage early on, so I wonder if he just didn't bother fixing it in the pit stop. Kingham now 2 laps down. Bovis not closing up to pizza as much as possible.
He's got it fixed.
Interesting to see that Ivahanen went for those hard tyres. He's in 8th at the moment in the Ferrari, but he did so well last week to get the mediums to last until the end on a one-stop strategy. And for this time to go to the hards, he's in 8th place at the moment. He's sort of going to be in no man's land unless Riley, Dan and Estimats absolutely kill their tyres.
Well, Daniel is now in the back of Estimats, and this looks like it's going to be the first battle and I feel this one might last a while. I would have never predicted for these two to be fighting towards the end of the season at the start, but both of them cutting the corner massively there.
Yeah, Dan's got to be careful though. He's extremely low on ERS and he is short on fuel at the moment, so he'll do well maybe to stick in the DRS as he's gone deep a bit there into turn 4. That's going to cost him a lot of time. You can just see how that gap has extended, but he needs to save ERS and save fuel as well. So doing all that while trying to take SD mats is going to be one almighty challenge, and that's a lot about what modern Formula 1 is about. Managing tyres, managing fuel, managing ERS. On online leagues you don't have to manage reliability of course, but you've got to try and do all that while battling other cars and driving as fast as you possibly can.
Well, here as big words from Ivan, these last 5 to 6 races are so bad, and he also went, I don't deserve that seat.
Well, he did well enough in the first part of the season. It's just, it all seems to have gone wrong for him. I'm not sure quite why, but hopefully he'll be able to get some form back.
It reminds me a bit of the, could you say, the Vettel this season. The car at the start of the season wasn't really suited to him.
Yeah, that Ferrari car does seem to have a very unstable rear end, which suits some drivers. It seems to have suited Leclerc. Eva Hannon's done alright in it, but Aaron did okay. But Ivan has just struggled since he joined that. But he did well in the Haas, and that's another car that's not known for being the most unstable. So, bit weird as UK Cox is still going around on those hard tyres, and he's now going to start holding up SD Mats and Dan. So, be interested to see whether this helps or hinders the McLaren.
Might get a double toe here, but he could also protect SD Mats as he gets another good run there. Seems like that's what he's doing. Daniel catches up in the second sector, and SD Mats just seems to pull away like a rocket ship on the exits. I don't know if you have a look at his car here, but he literally just pulls away on the straights like an extra 7 times. Ow.
Yellow flag in sector 2, and that is AB who has gone off. He also started on the hard tyres, so he seems to be struggling a bit more than his teammate on them. That drops down to 12th place and gets a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. I think he's found a Kimi Raikkonen style shortcut there.
Well, I mean, I know Codemasters do make dirt rally games, and Kinging is off again in the wall, and I think that is just something that I think this is just a race he needs to forget about.
All credit to him for keeping going, of course, because if you finish outside the top 10, you can't get a fastest lap, but hopefully he won't retire now that I've said that. And Boris, he's got within that magic 1 second. It's taken him a bit longer than I thought it would, because I think Iceman has picked up the pace slightly. But with 15 laps to go, we could start seeing a race-long battle for the lead here. Boris now within 8 tenths. He's going to be a bit too far behind, heading into the centre S's and possibly into turn 4, but next time around he could be right on the rear wing of that Mercedes.
Well, it looks like it's actually going to happen into turn 4 maybe. A bit too far back now actually when I see it, but we could be seeing, like you said, a race-long battle between these two, and I feel like it might get a bit heated as it is
we'll have
for
to
Boris.
see. SD Mats pulled a bit away now from Dan, because Dan couldn't get past UK Coxie around the rest of that lap, so that gap has opened up, and it's allowed Riley to close in slightly, of course, but Boris, he'll just be concentrating on staying on the back of Iceman, and he does have 2 laps fresher tyres, and that could be all important in the latter stages.
Well, let's talk about this battle possibly leading to Peter Parker getting in a fight with him.
Kingen has retired from the race. He's done that in the pit lane though, so hopefully that won't cause a BSC.
A safety car may change this race, so everyone pitting on to the softs, you could say.
Boris now right into slipstream of Iceman.
Here he goes.
He's trying to go round the outside. That's a very tight gap if he can manage that. He's had to bail out, but hasn't cost him too much. Will he be able to have a go?
It's reminding me of the Hamilton battle and Verstappen battle in Monaco. Don't know if you remember that this year, but here he goes down the inside into turn 4, he gets it done down the inside, but next Iceman comes back on the switchback. Through the swooping left-hander, up the hill they go, side by side, no way he's going to handle it, round the outside, up the hill, and he's going to back out just for now and possibly get him on the main straight.
Yeah, it'd be a wise thing to do, to just stay within DRS zone, save all your ERS up, Iceman not using any at the moment, and see if you can get him done on the straight, but Boris just looks so mighty on the brakes in this race. It's incredible how much later he seems to be able to brake, and to hold it off as well, because I thought he was going to get squeezed a bit more by Iceman, but fair play to the champion for not trying any dirty tricks, but you can see the gap Boris has pulled out already, and I think Iceman might just be a bit too far.
No, he's going to get it, he's got it.
DRS seems extremely powerful.
Here we go, back round the outside, copycat move, and Boris wasn't exactly clinical of the move, but Iceman gets it pretty easily there. I feel like they're kind of just going to take it safe until it reaches the latter stages of the race, because we do have a long way to go. But around the outside, Boris goes through turn 4, some collisions, and I feel like this will end up getting feisty if it continues, and that's kind of set next Iceman a bit further back than he'd probably like to be.
I mean, one man who wouldn't mind it getting feisty is Pete Parker in 3rd place at the moment, and he's another man who in 2020 has been incredible. Got 2 podiums in a row earlier on as AB finally comes into the pits on 22 laps, but UK Coxey is doing well in 6th place on them hard tyres because he's not losing tons of time, so he's going to be one to watch towards the end as he makes his way up through the field on the softs. But yeah, Pete Parker's been very consistent over the last few races, and he could be another one who might move up a tier next season.
So I'm watching this, and now next Iceman is the quicker driver in sector 2, but here we go into turn 1. He pulls to the right hand side of the track. Will it be around the outside? He goes. Boris defends down the inside, of accidentally switched to Pete Parker, but great defending. There we go, from Boris. But will next Iceman come back on at him for turn 4? It looks like he is too far back, and we'll have to wait later on. So I was seeing there, kind of on the entry to the final sector, the end of sector 2, next Iceman seems to catch up about 3/10 to Boris. So I think that's why Boris couldn't exactly catch up so much. But Yuki Coxey and Riley Buys also fighting out here up the hill. Yuki Coxey holding his ground.
Yeah, Riley just ran wide coming out of turn 4, and that allowed UK Coxey to get the move and the position back. And I said Riley was catching up to Dan, but that is ending. But next couple of laps, I'd expect the Alpha to head into the pits, but he's still going to be targeting, I think, Sam possibly in 9th place and that fastest lap point. And
I'll tell you the hard thing,
Coxey hasn't got any points yet, so that'd be good for him if he can get his first points of the season.
Oh, here we go, back down the inside. Iceman goes side by side through the centre S, and Iceman gets it done from the inside to the outside. Borso comes back on a little bit of a switchback. They are giving him the ultimate grip, coming out the swooping left-hander, and gets moved done once again. Iceman though trying to get a good run off the exit of turn 4, doesn't get a move up the hill though, and Pete Parker has gained about a second due to their fighting.
Yeah, I think both drivers have kept it clean with penalties. I'll keep an eye on the situation as we get into the final few laps, how they're all doing, but yeah, only Boris has a warning out of the top 3, and Iceman and Pete Parker no warnings at the moment. In 6th place, UK Coxey is still holding off Riley Buys. This must be getting frustrating for the Racing Point, who of course he'll have taken the best out of those tyres as well, so it's going to get harder and harder to get past the Alpha.
Well, next Iceman didn't get the best sector 2 he wanted there, but does get ultimately the DRS and comes flying back. Doesn't make the move though. I think he's going to save the DRS a bit more. Oh my, Boris is on 19% ERS. I think
Boris
he's wanting that fight.
Yeah, he's saving it all up and just using it on the straight, and Iceman not able to get close enough. I mean, Boris looks so much faster on the straight, so much faster under braking. He's got that Renault set up beautifully, and he is driving fantastically, and looks as though he's heading to win number 5 of the season. But of course, Stewart's inquiry could change that, and we're pretty much 3/4 of the way through the race now. And it is Boris, Iceman, Peter Parker, your top 3. Only 12 runners remaining. Kingan, Ivan, Azamata, and Astronauti all retiring.
I think Boris is actually the. I mean, I feel like he's the quicker driver, and he knows that, and because he's sitting here with literally 100% ERS.
I mean, Iceman
I don't think the man is
nearly
pushing.
100% as well, but surely he's too far back this time around. I mean, he didn't have a go. It's going to take a lunge, I think, from Iceman. Boris feeling the need to go defensive, though, and is that just going to open up Iceman with the racing line? Not able to do anything this time.
Nobody will get a good run
Boris
coming out
slightly.
of this NIS. Going to be pushing Boris through turn 3 now. The slipstream, the DRS in favour for next Iceman. Peter Parker now 2.8 seconds a gap behind. But next Iceman will dive it down the inside into turn 4. Boris will hold it up the hill. The Renault and the Merc go continuing to fight, and Boris holds a position going into sector 2.
Yeah, I think Boris, it's going to take something special, I think, from Iceman, but maybe he will be helped by Peter Parker catching up, and he's got a chance to take his. Well, I think would it be his first win of the season? Indeed, it would be. He's got 5 podiums, and he's looking good for a 6th at the moment. Maybe we could see a victory from him. Gazaman pitting, so I'm not sure if the Red Bull has been off the circuit. Not at all.
7/10 of the difference between Peter Parker and Iceman. Well, I'm the top 2 because they keep battling in the same place every lap, and it's costing them a lot of time. Now here they go once again into turn 1. Will Iceman get it this time? The 2 titans of Podium Tier at the moment. Round at the outside he goes now with the inside. There's a car coming out of the pit lane, but he will get it, swooping right round the outside of Boris there. And that, look, Peter Parker
DRS again, though.
Peter Parker gaining a second there. Boris back down the inside possibly. No. Oh, Boris, a snap of oversteer. Talking about the setup. Maybe the tyres are a bit heated up possibly. I know it can happen around here. And yeah, he's struggling. He's flopping about like a salmon at the moment.
He has had a few snaps of oversteer. I mean, he nearly lost it earlier on. He
Safety
did lose
car
it under the VSC and safety car. But no one is... What?
I think it's Yuki Cox. It's Yuki Cox. He's done it again.
He's lost it in the pit lane again.
He's done it again.
Now, will anyone dive into the pits for fresh tyres? Surely.
For sure. It'd be the smart option. Boris is doing it. He's doing the opposite strategy to Iceman.
Yeah, so Iceman, I mean, if the safety car goes on long enough and a few cars stay out, that will put a few bit of traffic in between. I think that's what he was hoping.
I think...
Because nearly everyone has pitted, Boris hasn't lost anything, really, from this.
Next Iceman, what is he doing? He's going to be so far down, and Boris is actually going to come out in P2 still.
I mean, Iceman, I think you had to pit, because if everyone else is pitting, you're not going to gain anything. Ivahanen didn't pit as well in the Ferrari, so...
Is it too late?
He's going to be... Yeah, it's too late now. You're going to lose the chunks of time. Gazaman disqualified from the session for ignoring the yellow flag, so... Down to 11 drivers now. Iceman, Boris, Parker, Ivahanen, Estimat, Dan, Sam as well. He decided not to pit. Riley putting fresh tyres on. Catboy not pitting either. UK Coxey back in the pits. And if he keeps it clean, he might not actually lose much from changing onto that.
This may actually benefit him.
Change his front wing.
After losing the front wing, it may actually benefit his race in one hub. Oh, he's done it again.
There's something going on with his game here. I mean, he's retired from the session, but you don't... Doing it once is foolish. Doing it twice is ridiculous.
Doing it a third...
There has to be something happening.
Yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame.
Now, this is interesting. The lapped car of AB is sort of in between Iceman and Boris at the moment. He is ghosting, though, so that shouldn't be a problem for Boris, but... hopefully that won't cause any issues. Lap 31 then. Iceman, Boris, Peter Parker. Iceman on 20 lap old medium tyres, and that might be a bit like what we saw this season in the Brazilian Grand Prix, where those on the older tyres just dropped their way down the order at the restart.
Well, I mean, Iceman's got a hefty job to keep them tyres hot. Even Evianen has an even bigger job to keep them tyres hot compared to them softs. And Sam also in the background. I feel like it would be worth him actually pitting. Because
I mean, one person I think Catboy should definitely just consider pitting, because he's in ninth place.
Sam as well. I think
sure
it would
the
just be
game
smart.
did say Gazaman was disqualified from the session. I don't think I imagined that. Maybe I did imagine it. Anyway, Gazaman.
No, he's not. Kids just get free seconds anyway. Oh, Daniel, what's happened to Daniel? He's letting tons of cars pass.
I'm not sure what's happened to
Penalty
Daniel.
for oh, he tried to slow down.
He's tried to slow down. He's got his penalty for ignoring yellow flags as well.
Did they overtake people? I reckon he's overtaken people.
I'm not sure if he slowed down and then tried to re-overtake people, and that's what he's got the penalty for, but we'll have to wait and see. Safety car staying out at least another lap. I'll be surprised if it's any longer than that. See if anyone else dives into the pits, because I think it's only really Catboy who's got practically nothing to lose at the moment now by pitting, but it depends if he has any fresh tyres. Well, he should have loads of fresh tyres, because he didn't even take part in qualifying, so interestingly that he hasn't pitted as well, but down to just 11 runners in this race, and
oh, and that's a
can
collision.
anyone stop Bovis?
That's a collision. Daniel, I reckon a penalty. I don't know, it was really light, but they're very strict when it comes to collisions on the safety car in this game. And he's been let off. Very lucky.
Yeah, he's got away with that one, and it's all getting very interesting. Where will Iceman end up? Will Parker be able to go for the victory here? Will he just go for it, or will he stick for a podium? Could we see someone else get on the podium? Because either Hannon,
I would love
imagine
to see
Estimates will be able to dispatch with him fairly quickly.
I would love to see Peter Parker get the win here. I feel like that would be brilliant for him. I feel that's what it needs, because he's definitely deserved it this season. He's came in at Baku and been one of the most consistent drivers, and has been improving.
Yeah, he's, like I said, 5 podiums at the moment. It looked like he's going to make it 6 and 3 out of the last 4 races. So another driver like Boris, who's been fantastic. Safety car lights yet to go out.
They go out like right now usually. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Now Iceman, he's just got to hold everyone up, and he's going to have to do it very, very late here. Can't pass, of course, before you get to the finish line, but he's got to try and catch Boris out. And
it's an odd one here, because you've got to let the safety car get into the pit, and then you can go. So you're
safety car's in the pits now.
There he goes.
Hope you have to go for it.
Oh, and the cars are scattering everywhere, a bit like Skittles when they fall out the packet is least. I don't know what's happening with the metaphors. It's not metaphor, it's just a saying. But
Sam getting involved in a lot of action as well.
Evianen and Sam, the 2 hard runners, going at it. But Peter Parker looking at the battle for first, and is Boris round the outside, and next is Iceman. Manages to save a spin there. A bit of lag on either Peter Parker or Iceman's part, but it says Iceman. Iceman's having lag issues.
Estimates was a big loser from that first period, actually. He's dropped a couple of places, and I'm not sure if Riley's been involved in an incident either, because he's now down into 10th position. But Boris taking the lead, that nearly sent Iceman around, and he's dropped out of the DRS range, so that'll be enabled in a couple of laps. Of course, Peter Parker, he'll be trying to get that 3rd place, but can Eva Hannon hang on? Dan is up into 5th, and with the pack being so close together, any of the penalties that these drivers have picked up is going to have a huge effect, of course.
Well, I'm looking at ST Mats, who is actually going to make the move on the hard runner of Sam. Sam, is he going to defend? He's moved to the left hand side of the track, force him the long way round, but Gazaman is going to come round the left hand side and is free wide into turn 1 there. And oh, it's a spin! The Red Bulls,
he's held up his teammate!
The Red Bulls have crashed.
I think Gazaman just spun there trying to get past SD Mats as I came to that, and that ended up holding up Sam as well. So that's given some of these guys a bit of breathing space. Eva Hammond still holding on to 4th, and Iceman still holding on to 2nd place. So it looks like Boris is safe for the victory out on track, but who is going to finish 2nd and who's going to take the rest of the podium slots? That is still up for grabs, of course. I'd expect Iceman to do it after penalties have applied.
Iceman trying to hold the P2, but I feel like he's ruined Peter Parker's race a bit here, because Peter Parker had to get away with Boris there if he wanted a chance of winning.
Yeah, he's defending as hard as possible, Iceman. He's well within his rights to. 2 laps remaining when they cross the line this time. You can see the advantage of the fresh tyres. 2.4 seconds the lead. Boris sets another fastest lap, and there's a battle in the background for 5th place between SD Mats, Dan and Riley as well.
Goes off track to get round there, but a bit of tyre banging as well. But Daniel having another race of his life here as they go side by side with Riley Byes. Riley Byes gets it done though and moves on to the McLaren driver. So a 5-second penalty on Daniel, that's what we know so far. I've seen a few 3-second penalties pop up there and then. And I feel like
Parker, he's trying to go round the outside. Sorry to interrupt. He was trying to go round the outside at the Peltoda on next as Iceman. It didn't pay off. It's just going to be a bit like Gasly and Hamilton, but this time the Mercedes holding on with a faster car behind them.
Well, I feel like Sam is going to be losing his Iron Brew by the end of the season. I feel like it's not going to have the chance again. But again, if I'm commenting in Podium Tier, I mean, I'm also having a few thoughts about. Well, I'll talk about it, but we are in the final lap here. But here,
final lap, Bovis, he's far enough ahead. Iceman trying to still hold off from Parker and doing it successfully. Eva Hannon, he's got SD Mats and Riley all over the back of him. So
here
this is
goes
really the last
Parker.
chance for some of these guys.
On the second DRS straight, and he goes round the outside into turn 4. And Iceman defends, pushes him off track. Peter Parker will fight back. He gets to run round the outside as Boris was doing to Iceman down the inside up the hill. There's a switchback from Iceman though. He tries. He's going to try and dive it. Possibly, no, he doesn't. Evianen also looking to hold P4. ST Mats P5. Riley P6 trying to get ST Mats and P5. Daniel watching the fight commence, and Riley diving it down the inside of the McLaren there. That could have ended badly, but the experience from ST Mats, the clean driving from ST Mats works out. We've seen it before in Brazil, and usually there is on the line position changes. So we see it?
Bovis, he crosses the line to take the victory. Peter Parker will get 2nd. Iceman in 3rd.
Oh, ST Mats gets very close there. Oh, and Daniel! He's lost a lot of positions there. He's retired at the end there.
Yeah, he did cross the line though, but I think he dropped down to at least a 9th there at the end. But again, it is Bovis, Parker and Iceman on the podium. This time it is Bovis. Well, it's Bovis again. 5 wins in a row now, but there is that doubt, of course, after that crash with Azamata. But he had an over 5-second lead at the end, so if that's only the penalty, he may get away with it. Great job from Peter Parker to get another podium in 2nd, and Iceman, he'll be regretting not pitting in the end. 3rd place for him when it could have so easily been another win for the Mercedes driver.
I mean, what a race that was. We'll go through the results here. Do you want to take them or do I?
Fire away, Brett.
Okay, so we have Boris in the Renault, who's been in dominating fashion in the last 5 races, I think. Peter Parker in P2 in the Racing Point. Great result from him. Sad to see him not get P1 though. Next Iceman P3, not choosing the right strategy in the end, and well, it's a championship leader, so doesn't really matter. Evian P4, good result from the Ferrari driver. Riley by P5, great result from him. ST Mats P6 had a very action-packed race there. EVR Sam managing to have a damage limitation at the end there, coming in P7 after his spin from his teammate Gazaman P8. Catboy Key and P9, great debut. D-Boy Dan, or Daniel in the Haas P10 after the crash at the end. AB MP11, UK Coxie P12, Kingen P13, and ART Van, Azimar and Astronauty are the people that did not finish in tonight's race.
So, Brett, driver of the day.
Driver of the day, I'm going to have to say Pete Parker.
You're going for Pete Parker. Any reason why?
I'm going to say Pete Parker. I mean, I think this is a great way, as we have one more race left this season, and to put in another podium P2, I feel that's a great for him, a big achievement, and I know I'll be getting invited to a party in a few seconds by Riley and Pete Parker, as they always do, telling me all about the race.
I think I'm going to go for Catboy in his first race. He had a decent start to the race, kept it clean when so many others didn't. Gained a lot of places, partly due to all his retirements, but he didn't have a setup on. He did well to get 9th place in the end, and hopefully he'll be able to gain on that in the last race.
Well, that was the results. Now, one more race left. I think some battles may have been decided here. I think Boris definitely, if his position stands, he has a big chance of getting that P2. I mean, I just want to hear your final thoughts on that whole collision. I feel that even though it was most likely Boris's fault, I don't think they could give a penalty for it. I feel like it's
there wasn't a lot in
collision
it. I mean, a 20-second penalty. I mean, some of the penalties that they usually give out are 1 over 5, 10, and 20 seconds. 20 seconds, I'd be surprised. I'd expect. I'm not sure whether it'll be a 5 or a 10-second penalty, but I don't think a 5-second penalty in the end will make any difference to the result. So for that reason, he may get a 10-second one. But
I just feel like,
as a matter, may not report it to the stewards. He might just think, you know what, it was my fault because there was a bit of movement from both drivers, and usually in that situation, the driver behind gets to blame. But if as a matter doesn't report it, Boris has got 5 wins in a row, and this conversation is pretty pointless.
I feel like if it was me and the stewards, I wouldn't give a penalty. They were battling hard, and it's more to do with this game's contact model, with that slight tap causing such a huge collision that actually sent Azmar into the air.
Yeah, I mean, it's very close to the wall at that part of the track. There's a few sections like that throughout the first sector, and it was a huge accident, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean,
yeah. Keep an eye out on the stewards for, well, Wednesday, I guess.
I think it's tomorrow the stewards open, and it's Wednesday when the stewards publish their results. So we'll see, because we might get to see the points of view from the driver, because there's always a bit of desync with the stream. So maybe Azamata and Boris saw something completely different to what we did, and that more than anything would influence the steward's decision.
Yes, agreed. Right, so this was One Hub Podium Tier. Make sure to go check out Precision Tier and Pinnacle Tier that will be happening at 8:30 tonight. But Precision Tier is live at the moment with, I don't know who the commentators is, I think it's Jamie and...
Precision at the moment is Owen and Austin, and Pinnacle later on will be Kieran and Jamie.
Well, I mean, Pinnacle obviously being the top division at the moment, since we're missing out in Prestige, but they're saying we're going big for the next season of One Hub, so everyone stay tuned for next Friday, as we have more announcements coming from our Twitter, so follow at One Hub Racing. Remember to go check out our sponsor, Next Level Racing, to get some amazing gear and simulator rigs, everything, because it's just amazing and cheap. It's not actually that expensive. So this was me and Luke, and we will see you next week. What a race, Jesus.